Alright, hi everyone. A little bit of help to help with this first task. I'll try and do a video each week where it's appropriate. I know you love them. So when you load up Student Edition of Circuit Wizard, it's a bit stupid. It doesn't come with the right page that you need. So first of all, click this little X here, make your page bigger, and go File, New. And it doesn't really matter which of these you pick, so just click OK. And to get the kind of page you need, get in this habit because we'll be doing it most weeks. Go down to the bottom of the screen, right click on one of these two tabs and put right click, insert page. There we go. And choose the type circuit diagram and then give it a title that will help you. So let's call it LEDs, series and parallel. There we go. Okay, this is the type of page you need. You can delete those other two now, so just right click them. There we go. Now, you're in a place to start with what I've set you the challenge of writing your initials with as many LEDs as you can in in parallel only. Okay, I'll give you a very quick demo now. So if you go to power supplies, for instance, you'll find your voltage rails. So you've got 5 and 0 volts here. I'll just zoom that in a bit more for you. If you go to output optoelectronic light emitting diodes, then you'll find your LEDs. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to copy and paste some LEDs. Now, if I was to wire my LEDs up like this, where each one of them has a connection straight to positive and its own separate connection straight back to negative, and by the way, I can do that, look, that's the same, doesn't have to go right to the bottom. They are wired in parallel, okay? And if I press play, they'll light up. And just to prove it to you, you could copy and paste that arrangement as many times as you want. So I'm going to put another 3 there, so we've got 6 in total. Need to remember this needs to go back to negative. There we go. 6, no problem. I could do another 3. Okay, and that would still work. That's the beauty of LEDs in parallel. When they're in parallel, they all get the same voltage, in this case 5 volts to them. If they're in series, you can have some issues, and I'm just going to delete that and show you now. So if I was to take one LED and the second LED and join them end to end, that's what we'd call in series, like a string of sausages. Now, 2 of them, that'll work, fine. You might even get away with 3 of them in series. Let's try that. Okay, we don't. We don't get away with 3 in series, and the reason for that is connecting LEDs in series is not very efficient. Every time the current passes through an LED, you lose some of the voltage, some of that push that's available, about 1 to 1.5 volts. So if you imagine we lose 1.5 volts by going through that one, then another 1.5 volts, so that's 3 volts have dropped, and then another 1.5, that's 4.5 volts have dropped by the time we get here. So overall, there's like half a volt to power or to push the current through these 3 LEDs, and it just doesn't work, okay? You could get around it by upping the voltage. So if we make it, let's say, a 7 volt power supply, you'll see the lights come back on again. But it's not a very efficient way of wiring up. Okay, so your challenge is to only using parallel connections, i.e. each one has to have its own positive and its own connection back to negative, is to write your initials as best you can. There are some extensions where I want you to add in a switch to turn them on and off. I would also like you to put in protective resistors, because in reality this circuit would be bad as well because there's no resistor to limit the current to these LEDs, so they would eventually blow up. So I'd like you to add in protective resistors, and then for those of you who are feeling really brave, you could look into using a 555 timer to make them flash, but I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. That's going to be down to you to research. Okay, stay safe, stay in, and do your work. This is the first task I've set. All I can say is this: we don't know how long we're going to be off school for, but those of you that choose to do your work, not just for my subject, for all of them, and hand it in, that's the only way your teachers are going to have of checking your progress and reporting on you when we do all eventually go back to school and back to normality. So if you're wanting to come back to school with the grades that you deserve and the ability level that your teachers know you can do, you need to show that you're producing this work while you're off. Right? It's not just to keep you busy, it's to keep your brains going, and also to keep you up there and make sure you're competitive with everyone else. All right, it's going to be a very different world we're going to go back to, and you want to put yourself in the best position by trying as hard as you can at everything possible. All right, so anyway, lecture over. Do the work. Email me if you have any problems, and stay safe.